Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is M-Dawg, and today we're going to be talking about the time my mom tried to get me to do crystal meth. So this fateful day happened about 3 years ago, spring of 2022. Yeah. And I was living at my mom's at this point. I have a really bad strained relationship with my mom, and this is after my dad got sent back to jail after he got caught with drugs on him after the police caught him outside. They've been waiting for him to go outside. If you don't know anything about my dad, I got another YouTube video called My Dad's a Danger to Society with $1 million bond. Honestly, the title kind of sums it up, but if you need further explanation, go to that video. Anyway, so at this point, my dad was in prison, and it was just me and my mom, and we had a strained relationship. Stuff was hard, and I wasn't doing well. But does that excuse my next actions? No, it doesn't. I just hope instead of seeing me as stupid, you see me as someone who's really struggling at the time, and this was what I thought would help me, which honestly should give you some context on to how bad it was at the time. So one day, I was doing my hair in the bathroom, and I was thinking to myself, I hate my life. I hate myself so much. But I was thinking back to about a year ago when I had done ecstasy for the first time, and I fell in love with it. Now, keep in mind, I only did it twice. I got unlucky because I got my hands on it twice. The first time I fell in love with it. The second time it didn't hit the same, and I begged for more, but nobody would give it to me. So I was thinking back at the time when I was doing my hair, and I thought about how my dad was in my life now, and my mom is dating my dad again. So, my mom's got to have some connections in the drug world, wouldn't you think? You see where this is going? I trotted up in my mom's room, and I knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, Mom. So, about my dad, he has a lot of drug connections, right? And she's like, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, do you think there's any way we could get some ecstasy, or I could get some ecstasy and I can pay you for it? And my mom's like, what do you think a normal person would say in this time? Hey daughter, why are you trying to do drugs? Or hey daughter, what's wrong with you? Or get out of my face. That is a weird request. None of these happened. My mom says to me, oh, the people I know, the people that your dad knows, they don't sell none of those baby drugs. No. Ecstasy, that's a baby drug. They only have the hard stuff, you know what I mean? The good stuff. And I'm like, okay, sorry then, I guess I'll go. But wait! Let me tell you something. There's something I can get that he has that's just like ecstasy. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I want something that's like it. I'm not really looking to experiment. I was just looking for something that I knew I liked. Shouldn't have asked my mom about it, but this already has taken a weird turn. So, I don't think I need it. She's like, no. It's exactly like ecstasy. Well, what is it? Well, I don't want you to freak out when you hear what it is, but it's basically the same thing. It does all the same things, whatever. And she goes, I'm like, what is it? And she goes, meth. It's called ice, crystal meth. And I hear this and my stomach sinks. And I'm like, meth? That sounds kind of hardcore. I guess ecstasy always kind of seemed just like a party drug. It didn't seem that big of a deal. But when you hear the word meth, you think of somebody whose life is literally destroyed, and that you basically think of someone who their life is in shambles, when you think of meth. But my mom saw the opportunity to, I guess, do meth. Because at the time, my dad maybe did meth. It's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg? Who started doing meth first, my mom or my dad? Who got them into it? I don't know, and I don't think we ever will know. So when I got really concerned, my mom seemed really excited about doing meth with her daughter. I was like, no, Mama, I don't want to. But as soon as I said no, she kind of fired back. She was like, no, we're doing this. Like, this is happening. And if you don't do it, you're a baby. I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this. And she's just berating me about it. I'm like, okay. And she's like, great. Okay, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to see when we can pick it up today. And I'm like, okay. And I leave and I walk away and I start texting my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, dude, why is my mom trying to get me to do meth? Don't, look at me any different. But I did ask her where I could get some ecstasy. Please don't be mad at me. That was fucked up. And my mom busts up in the bathroom again. So I was trying to do my hair and like act like that whole conversation didn't happen. And she's like, come here. Okay, Mom. I walk in her room and she reaches under her bed, grabs out this big like container, and inside it has like a bunch of clear pill cases, a thing like an inserter for the pill cases. And then she pulls out this giant like plastic bag and it's full of kratom. And she starts taking out this green powder and just scooping it and like making like 40 pills, like just scooping like obscene amounts of kratom into these pills and like just shoving them. And she's like, this is what I use to get off of Percocets. My mom didn't go to a doctor, and I had only learned like a month before that my mom was ever on Percocets. And she's over here stuffing these pills, telling me about it. This all came out of nowhere for me. So I'm like, okay, what's up with that? And she's like, do you want one? And all I had known about kratom, because I had never done it, all I knew about kratom at the time was back in high school, there was a girl that used to take kratom instead of smoking weed. Like she would drink kratom tea instead of smoking weed to like curb her cravings, which looking back on it, that's probably a really bad idea. And who bought that for her? She was in high school. But anyway, she takes these pills. And she takes one. She's like, these are 4,000 milligrams each of kratom. And she pops one in her mouth. And then she hands me one. And she goes, here, take this. And she hands it to me, and I look at it, and I'm like, is it okay if I maybe take this later? I kind of want to, I don't know anything about it. I kind of want to look into it, see what it'll do to me. And she's like, no, take it now. Okay. I put it in my mouth. And when I put it in my mouth, she smiles, and she's like, oh, great. And she takes another 4,000 milligram kratom pill and pops it in her mouth, swallows. And I'm like, And I walk out of the bathroom, and I go, and I have this pill in my hand, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this feels like it's really bad. I don't understand what it is. I don't know why she's being weird about it. I don't know why she's so gung-ho on giving it to me right now. But I walk in my bedroom, and I put it in like an empty like pill bottle that I kept. I don't know. I put it in an empty pill bottle, and I started looking into it. And it was like, kratom is an opiate. It's addictive. It's, like all the shit. Don't take it. It's basically like, do not take it. And again, I had never done kratom. So like, you're giving me a 4,000 milligram pill. Like, imagine I'm not sure like if it's exactly the same, but I could just imagine giving someone who's never smoked weed before a 4,000 milligram edible. Dude, they'd be dead. Like, they'd be fucking dead. Like, I know you can't die from weed, but like, you might as well be. That would be horrifying. But I didn't take it. And my mom comes in my room, and she's like, hey, I got the guy. The guy said he can come meet us. We're going to go meet him. We're going to go get it today. After I visit your dad in prison. And she's like, get in the car. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. So again, she starts berating me, and I guess I don't It's like she's not going to leave. She's not going to stop unless I get in the car. Could I have done something else? Maybe. But I'm scared of my mother. So I got in the car. And she drives me over to the prison where my dad's being held. And I kind of sit there. She's like, all right, I'll be right back. I'll be back later. And I'm like, why can't I go in too? She's like, it's by appointment only. Why am I not seeing my dad? Like, why are you not, like, bringing this up and, like, being like, hey, do you want to go see your dad? Which I probably shouldn't have. But, I mean, at the time, I would have liked to see him. So she just left me out in the car for an hour while she went back, talked to my dad. I'm texting my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, like, my mom, I'm kind of scared. Like, my mom's in the prison right now talking to my dad, and we're about to go get meth, and I'm really scared. And he's like, I'm gonna come pick you up. And I'm getting nervous. I like beg him not to pick me up because I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. And I'm again scared of my mother. She's kind of unhinged. So I don't. And my mom comes back an hour later and she's like, you ready? I was like, I don't know if I am. You know, I'm still like showing doubt because I'm uncomfortable. And she starts telling me, well, I told your dad about this whole plan, and he said it's totally fine and that you're being weird and that you're making a big deal out of this for no reason. Okay, yeah, I'm the weird one here. Your freaking super mentally ill daughter and not the woman trying to give mentally ill daughter drugs. So my mom starts driving to this guy's apartment. That's where he said to meet her. And my mom looks over at me while she's driving and she's like, has it hit yet? And I was like, what? She's like, the kratom, it's had enough time to kick in now, hasn't it? You feel weird? You feel different? And I'm like, actually, I ended up not taking it. I was just worried because I didn't know what it would do. So I wanted to make sure like I wouldn't trip balls or anything. And she goes, oh. And she starts looking super angry. And I'm like getting scared because I'm like, damn, this woman is like driving. She's on 8,000 milligrams of freaking kratom right now. I was like, is she even safe to drive? Like, this is kind of ridiculous. And I'm thinking like she's about to freaking slap me or something for spitting out that pill. But she doesn't. She just gets kind of pissed off. And we finally make it to this weird, shady apartment complex. And she says that she's waiting for him to get home. He was running an errand. This guy lives with his mom. So we're waiting, and she's getting more frustrated by the minute, like that this guy isn't responding. And then she sees him. He gets out of his car with his mom, and they're carrying Kroger groceries up to the apartment. So she sees them walk into the apartment, and my mom is excited because that's where he keeps the drugs. So she's waiting 10, 15, 30 minutes, an hour goes by, and he's just silent. Radio silent. And my mother is freaking out. And she's getting angry and angrier and angrier and angrier. And she's like freaking beating on the steering wheel and shit. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, please don't come out. Please don't come out. Please. Like, I'm praying that this guy does not come out of his house and give me meth, give us meth. I don't want to do meth. And like, I am to the point where like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, if she has it in front of me and she tells me to do it right now, that I'm going to be able to say no. Like, I would love to say that like, oh, of course I would say no. But I've been saying no this whole time. And then my mom's just been kind of dragging me around. Not, again, that like I was completely helpless in the situation, but I wasn't doing well. Again, I'm freaking like 19 years old. Dude, I was doing horrible, like mentally. And, you know, I already had such a strained relationship with my mom. It was just really complicated. So she starts driving home. She's like, F this, we're leaving. So she drives, and the drive home is very silent. And she goes to her room, I go to mine, and the next morning rolls around. Static. My mom acts like nothing happened. A week goes by. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't bring it up, nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm uneasy because like what just happened. You know what I mean? Like that was completely out of nowhere. Like my mom's a bad person, but I never thought that it would get to that point. You see what I'm saying? And after a while, I finally brought it up to her and I was like, hey, can we talk? She's like, yep, of course, what? And I'm like, hey, are you addicted to meth? Because you tried to get me to do meth with you and you got really angry when you couldn't get it. And it's like, I'm not mad, but do you need help? Like, is there anything I can do to help you? And she just kind of dismisses me and is like, I don't have a problem. I don't, you know, you were the one who brought it up. You were the one who wanted to do it. So all I was going to do was get it for you. But that was a bad idea. I see that now, and don't ask me for that kind of stuff again. Point taken, mother. That is straight up a lie. She was 100% addicted to meth. That's not something like a normal person does. But I kind of think back about that a lot, and I wonder, like, how could that have changed my life if that guy had come out of his apartment? Like, do you know, that guy had no idea that, like, he was, like, saving my life, not coming down those stairs, not answering this crazy woman's calls because she needs those drugs. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, sleeping dog on the floor. But anyway, don't ever do drugs with a family member. Don't do drugs when someone tries to force them on you. Don't do drugs in general. I would like to say that, but especially don't do them with family members. Don't do them with people that like are pressuring you to do it. Don't be fear-mongered into doing drugs. And I know it's hard because this whole story was me being basically peer pressured by my mother to go do crystal meth. And she made it out to be my fault. But that situation really taught me that people will do anything, like for drugs. Like if they are addicted to a substance, like nothing else matters to them. I was never really that important to her in the first place, but I'm not really sure why she was so excited. Maybe because she didn't want to hide it anymore. Maybe she wanted to mess me up too. I honestly have no idea. And I could spend years thinking about it, but I won't. Instead, I like to think of it as a weird, crazy, zany little story that I can share. And, you know, if there's someone out there whose parent tried to get them to do the same, I'm really sorry. And I get how scary it is because it was honestly extremely terrifying. I didn't even know what I was dealing with at the time. No, I have not done ecstasy since that second time where it didn't do anything for me. And it's been a lot of years now. I don't really feel those cravings anymore. Yeah, it's been a couple years now that I haven't felt those cravings or thought about it all the time. Sorry. And I don't know. I've been gone a while. I've not been feeling good. I've been really down in the dumps, and I kind of just wanted to tell I don't know if it's a funny story, but I don't know. It's kind of quirky to me. So anyway, if you like the video, feel free to subscribe and like, and what do they say? Ring the bell, perhaps. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Feel free to leave a comment being like, wow, that was so crazy and insane. Anyway, I hope to see you guys again in the next video. All right, bye.